Okay, I'm just going to get one thing off the table straight away. The R Paul Wilson. People ask me, is it R Paul Wilson? I said it was Paul. I know him as Paul, but what's the R about?
I've always been Paul Wilson, and I was named Paul as a baby, but I guess my father made the decision, as far as I'm aware, when he went to the registry office, that his name is Ronald, and he thought Paul Ronald didn't sound as good as Ronald Paul, so he put Ronald Paul Wilson, and they called me Paul. And what that meant is that I was, throughout my entire life having to explain, yes, I know that's my first name, but I use my middle name. And, I went to the army and I had to explain that as well. And of course that ended up with all sorts of problems. And so it actually turned out to be quite useful in that there are several Paul Wilsons out there. There's a Paul Wilson that writes about football and sports. And there's a Paul Wilson who plays in a band, Ski Patrol. There's, Paul Wilson who writes books on being calm, which is definitely not me. And so the R Paul Wilson, and F Paul Wilson, of course, who's an author that I really quite like, wrote a great book called The Keep, which I remember reading a couple of times when I was a kid. And so R Paul Wilson just was a handy way to be different to them in terms of I'm obviously not that one, I'm that one. And it's just resulted in I get called Paul. Some friends call me R Paul. Some friends call me P. Some friends call me RP. I have a couple of friends that call me RPW, but they do it all the time, and it's a little bit annoying. But it's really just a writing name and a name for the film stuff.
So now everyone knows. Now we know.